every morning when you get up, it's a brand new day. The Lord bless you to see the sunlight. It's a great day, and you move past it. You don't have a choice. If you live in the past come back and get you again. You learn from it, you move forward, and say, what can we do to get things going in the right direction? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? So let's not make the same mistakes again. So we go back and still coach the fundamentals, how to get in the stands, how to take the proper step, how to read your keys. Football hasn't changed. It's still blocking and tackling. And that's all fundamental football. Those are things you go back to work on.
Coach, why does it seem like when one thing happens, it seems like it just kind of snowballs a little bit. It takes a little bit for the guys to kind of get back, into it. Like the 30-0 in the first quarter. How do you stop that from occurring?
Confidence. You have to have success. Let's be for real. No matter what happens in life, when things are kind of going downhill, you need to have some success, whether it's offense scoring a touchdown or special teams blocking a kick or returning a big punt return or defense making a play. You need to have something good happen for you to stop that, and that's part of it. Like I said, I've been in a situation in coaching where I've been 1-10, and we lost, I think, that year maybe 9 games by a total of 18 points. And we found ways to lose the game. And finally we got things turned, had a little success, and it snowballed in a good direction. And that's part of it. We need to have some good things happen for us. We need to maybe score on defense again or get a big play on offense to keep things going. That's part of it. You go back to that TCU game, we had 3 and out. No one ever had those guys in 3 and outs, and all of a sudden we go back out there, and it's 58 seconds later, and the guys say, uh-oh. And you've got young guys out there, and it's some things that we have to learn how to deal with, and that comes with maturity.
Do you think that hit against DeJay may have affected the guys?
I didn't even see the hit, to be honest. I'm on the sideline. We just sat down, got off the field, I'm talking to my guys, and somebody said we back on the football field. I said, you know what, this is our job. I mean, if you want to be known as a good defense and get to a point where you're a great defense, what a great opportunity. When you go on the football field and you playing defense, that's just an opportunity to go out there and get the job done. That's something we haven't gotten done this year. And that's where we have to be. What an opportunity to go out there and play. I don't care what the ball is, the +1 or -1. Man, what a great opportunity to go out there and ball out. And that's the attitude you got to have when you're on defense. And those are things I learned from the Leon Fullers of the world. That's the mindset that you must have if you want to play good defense.
Is this one of the biggest challenges you faced as a coach?
I think in this day and age, the way the spread offenses are, I think every week is going to be a big challenge. We playing an offense that's averaging 522 yards a game. You're struggling right now on defense. That's a tough challenge. And we still have Baylor and TCU. I'm not TCU, but Texas Tech.
I don't mean OU. I mean
in general.
This time struggling with this defense.
Well, it is. And it's going to be that way every week till we start winning. It's going to be that week every week until we start slowing guys down. So every week is going to be a challenge, and that's part of my job as a coach to get the guys ready to play and get them upbeat and let's go. So no matter who this opponent would be at this time, it's a challenge because that's just where we are at this point in time.
Even though these are young guys, do you, I guess, appeal to their pride a little bit in that, statistically they're on pace to be the worst unit in school history?
You know what? You hate to be, when you're the worst, that means you're the best at being something. And you don't want to be in that situation. I got to be honest with you. And the name of the game is this. We on pace for that, but at the end of the day, you know what you got to talk about? Let's go find a way to win. If I sit back and worry about a record, whether it's good or bad, that's a mistake. You need to talk about how can we win a ball game. You win it one play at a game, one play at a time, one series at a time, one quarter at a time, one half at a time. And that's where we are right now. So if that's where we are, that's where we are. But let's find a way to win one play at a time. One series at a time, and then let's get it rectified that way. And at the end of the day, let's go win a football game. And at the end of the day, if you last but you won a ball game, that's what people are going to remember. And you go back in the record books, people forget records real fast. But they don't forget how many games you won, how many games you lost. They remember Heisman Trophy winners. How many people remember who was the last Jen Thorpe winner 5 years ago? I promise you most guys in the room couldn't tell you. But they can tell you who won the national championship. They probably couldn't tell you 5 years ago who lost a game in the national championship. And that's what life is all about. When you start talking about statistics, Earl Bruce used to tell us this a long time ago. People who worry about statistics all the time, sometimes they're not winning or losing ball games. Because I go back and I can't remember the year, we went 9-4 with Earl Bruce, and I had a parent send me a letter said, you know, you led the nation in interceptions with 25 picks. I didn't know that because Earl Bruce said, don't worry about stats. Let's worry about winning ball games. So I've kind of gotten away from that. And do I want to be last or something? Of course I don't. Do I want to be first or something? Everybody does. But you know what I want to do at the end of the day? Win ball games. So that puts you at the middle, the front, or the back. Let's get some W's. Whatever it takes, let's get some W's.
Vance, last week you said you weren't very adept at social media, but apparently some of your players are. What is your message to them this week, or has been already?
This is a new era, and I'm an old school guy. I'm just learning these things myself. And it's like I said last year. I don't want to know what Joe the Rag Man put on his hamburger. And that's what kids do right now. They go outside and get fresh air. I went outside, got fresh air. Twitter. I really don't care. And so in this day and age, if you have something happen in your home, you know, your kids are arguing with each other, who puts that out on Twitter? Hour later, it's over and done with. It's forgotten. And so people talking about, well, somebody said A, B, C, D. That same day, those guys are all down there together, watching video together, laughing and joking. But some went out there and said, well, he got a fraction of the team. There's no fraction of the team. You got kids being kids. That's what they are. They 18 to 21-year-old kids. And you're trying to explain to these kids today, don't put your life story on Twitter because what you put out there is out there for the rest of your life. And I had a chance to sit down 4 weeks ago with a guy who's over here hunting firm. And he said, you know what we do? People can't get jobs sometimes because of their social media footprint. And they don't realize that. I'm talking about adults. Now we're talking about 18-year-old kids who don't know any better, and they learning on the ropes. And we as coaches right now are learning more things about that as we go along. So you continue to tell kids, be smart about what you do and the things you say. When I came through, there was no social media. If you guys remember phones, if you didn't have a quarter, you wasn't making a phone call. Now, I got a phone in my pocket right now, and so does every person in this room. So it's a different era. And the NCAA still struggling with the new social medias, and you got Snapchat and what's legal, not legal. We learning, the kids are learning too. The kids are ahead of us. How many of you have kids in this room right now, probably in the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, they know more about computers than anybody in this room because that's what they're being taught. So we as adults at our age, we kind of behind the times, so we're learning on-the-job training on how to deal with these things. So I went out there, I put something on Twitter when Vance went out there and, boy, he kicked his cat. Oh, my goodness, now I got everybody in the world talking about I kicked my cat. Really? To be honest, I didn't kick my cat. I just told you that, and you went and ran with it. I'm sitting back laughing. But it really is not funny because somebody out there don't know the truth. And that's what's wrong with social media sometimes. These kids are learning, don't put everything out there. You could be joking, but somebody take you seriously, and all of a sudden now it becomes an issue.
What kind of lesson do you think that Chris Boyd learned this week?
He learned a lot. When we had a lot of conversations from his family back home, his friends on this team, and it goes back to is that these kids today, they really don't understand when you put something out there, how it could be blown up. And so now he learned the hard way, and sometimes you go back to 50 years ago when we had real stoves that can actually burn you, and Mom said, don't put your hand on that stove. What did we all do? We touched that stove to find out. And like, I'm not doing that again. Well, guess what? That's what he just did. And so now he's learning don't touch that stove. It's not the smartest thing to do. But again, that's things that he has to learn at 18 years old, that's what social media is, that a lot of us are still starting to understand how damaging it can be sometimes because he didn't know any better. But now, guess what? He does. But sometimes the next week, kids forget what you told them. All you gentlemen who have kids out there, you tell them one thing, a month later, it's like, I got to tell them again.
Was he punished, Chris?
You know what the punishment he got is what he got in the press. That's the punishment he got. Because all of a sudden, people saying, well, he's not committed, he's not focused. He's committed, he's focused, he's learning what to do. And that's just it. He made a mistake that he's learning now, I can't do certain things. And that's a punishment. That's all the punishment he needs to be pull out in the press and on social media, that's hurtful to a kid. And now he's learning that. I told him this. I said, you know what? You think all them people out there are your friends? In this day and age, on Twitter, people will use you and spit you out. If things are going well, they're your buddy. When things not going well, you like a piece of gum they stepping on. So understand, know who your friends and your family are, and be careful what you do out there with social media. And at my age, I got to do the same thing. Because you guys know I make a comment every once in a while. I just can't help myself.
You got another easy quarterback to defend.
Oh, my goodness. Somebody help me out. I mean, he has that Brett Favre mentality. Competitive. I'm going to win at all costs. He gets his team fired up. He has an excellent arm. He can scramble. When he scrambles, he's looking down the field to throw the football. And I asked our guys, I said, out of high school, I was told he only had 3 offers. I'm like, everybody missed on him. Then he walked home to Texas Tech, and now he's at Oklahoma. How? I mean, I don't understand that. How is he at Oklahoma and not still at Texas Tech? So, again, they had him there, and they missed on him, and they had him in school. And he played for them and won some games for them.
When you look at what that whole air raid offense, air leech, whatever you want to call it, you know, Leach never had a running type of quarterback like these folks are trying to find now. A guy that can run that system, be a take off and go.
When you talk about air raid, it's about 5 different versions of it.
Right.
You know, they have taken some of the things from Leach, but now when I look at some of these offenses, it's a combination of the old option and then what Leach's does. Because the side play is option football. So now you look for a little bit more athletic quarterback that can run it if he needs be to keep a defense honest, but at the end of the day, they want to throw the football. I mean, you look at Boykin. Boykin at TCU don't really pull the ball down too much, but if he has to run it, he can.
2 or 3 last ones, please.
Coach, do you feel like you can disguise coverages with the young guys that you have, or do you have to run different packages so they kind of get more comfortable?
It's a combination of everything you just said. You have to disguise things for our young guys. You have to run different packages. In practice, you got to really get after the guys, move around. Don't be like the Statue of Liberty. You know, you want to look like I'm here, but I'm going someplace else. And that all comes in time. That's how you practice. Those are things you're trying to get done. In practice is getting guys to move around. You have a couple of different packages, but they all need to be the same as. So those are things we continue to work on with the young guys.
Coach, we got to talk to Gerard yesterday, and he seems supremely confident about going to this game. Do you feel like you have a lot of guys that are acting that way this week?
You know, you look at a man, as I call him, Garfield, is that here's a young man that won 2 state championships, and he knows how to win. He has that same attitude at this moment, that he's going to find a way to will his team to go out there and be competitive and to win this football game. And we have several players that come from winning programs. Chris Boyd won a state championship. He has that mindset. You know, Holton Hill played at Lamar High School. They won a lot of ball games. He has that mindset. And so when you recruit guys from winning programs, they bring that same mindset to where you are, and eventually they're going to get it done. You would hope that you want to talk about freshmen right now, or redshirt freshmen playing, but you do, and those are guys out there that are playing. You look at Chris Boyd on special teams, he's probably one of the best special teams players in the country, going down on punt and kickoffs. I mean, you can't hold the guy up. I mean, so he's going out making plays. You look at Hurd, he runs around, makes plays with his legs, and he's getting better and better. He's learning how to play to the speed of the college game. And when he's realizing that he can't get caught in college, where in high school, no one ever caught him. Now he's getting caught. And so that's why he needs to continue to get bigger and stronger in the weight room. And that's one of the reasons why he didn't play last year. He wasn't physically, his physique wasn't big enough to take hits. I mean, he's put on some weight since he's been here. Well, now he can take a hit, and he can go out there and run around and then be able to get up and go again.
Anthony, last one.
Coach, what do you like about the food, the state fair, the atmosphere, the environment that surrounds this historic rivalry?
Well, you know, last year I got in trouble talking about food, and everybody's saying I'm on Twitter talking about restaurants I go to. You know, it's the state fair. That's number one. The excitement that you have in there, the people that are there, and then just walking out in that stadium. I can go back in 1977. I walk out in that stadium, and eyes are big, and on one side you see that strange little horse with that little buggy they have. And then you see the Longhorns with the burnt orange, and it's just like, wow. I mean, it's something that's hard to explain. And you come out that tunnel, and you see that team from across the Red River, and you see the Longhorns, and you're looking at each other, and you just want to get busy right there in the locker room, but that's not legal by the NCAA. So you have to take it to the field. And that was a mindset. And you look at some of the guys that played in that game. I had a chance to play with Earl Campbell. I had a chance to go tackle Billy Sims, David Overstreet, Kenny King, quarterback J.C. Watts, and Lott, and running back Stanley Wilson. That game just meant something. And most of those guys I talked about, they're from the state of Texas. I still believe, why would you ever want to cross the Red River? I mean, you're homegrown food. I mean, it's an old movie. I'm a John Wayne guy. And there's a movie called Red River. It's a great movie. I love it. And that's why I'm like John Wayne. Why would you cross the Red River? Pilgrim, I just don't understand that. Stay right here in the home state. And that's the whole thing about it. So when you out there playing, you playing against guys that you went to school with. I remember a guy named Basil Banks. We went to Sacred Heart High School in Galveston, Texas. And, man, what a great rivalry because we kind of grew up together, so it made it that much more fun and that much more competitive. So now when you went back home in the summertime, you saw those guys, and, I mean, you just like, oh, you had each other. And that's what that game means to me. And for anyone who plays in that from that school across the Red River and here at the University of Texas, it's a special game. And right now, it's not the same as it used to be because I go back to when we played, we either going to be 2 or 3 ranked teams in the nation, and a lot of times, 2 years in a row, the team that won that game was number 1 in the nation. Both teams were top 10 teams at that moment. Right now, we're not there. We have to get back to that. Oklahoma right now, Coach Stoops, he's getting that program back there. He's been there, I think, now 17, 18 years. And we got to get back there. And you do that with recruiting. And you see right now, we have some excellent freshmen here playing right now. And I said last week, at this moment in time, at this time last year, we're in the same spot in recruiting as we were, and we finished strong. We finished stronger than more than anybody in this conference and anybody else in this state. And so we're going to find a way to get the same thing done again. When you recruit the old-fashioned way, you got to wait till those guys go to all American games because I don't have my 5 hats. It's like being at the Texas State Fair. Which hat I'm going to pull? You got to deal with that in January. So that's where things are right now.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.